Hello, my name is Leif Courbet, and this is the comparative study of European concert halls, correlation of subjective preference with geometric and acoustic parameters, published in 1974 by Sebrace, Gottlob, and Schroeder. This was in the Federal Republic of Germany at Göttingen University. The purpose of this study was to conduct subjective evaluations, which means based on feelings, personal tastes, and opinions. This was done by using reverb-free magnetic tape recordings, which were amplified from the stage of a concert hall. The tape consisted of playback from a symphony orchestra. There was then a dummy placed inside the concert hall, with this dummy specifically engineered to record and process audio the way a human does. The dummy head contained two microphones with mock ear canals and pinna, similar in shape and design to that of an actual human head. When the audio is played back from the dummy's recordings via two loudspeakers, stereo sound, and a deadened, no-echo chamber, the research paper uses the word anechoic chamber. The live experience of the recorded signals will be replicated, similar to that of human ears in the space that it was recorded in. This allows for comparisons of acoustic qualities instantaneously of different concert halls. These test subjects then articulated their preferences of the musical quality of the recordings in pair comparison tests. This resulted in finding a consensus preference, following the analysis across multi-dimensional factors. Other results concluded several individual difference factors as well. These comparisons can be evaluated realistically with the dummy head recorder. This subjective preference evaluation was analyzed objectively, not based on feelings or facts, with the following parameters that pertained to the halls: volume, width of the hall, reverberation time, initial time delay or gap, definition, which is the energy presented in the first 50 milliseconds of the impulse response divided by the total energy, and interaural coherence, or the maximum of the cross-correlation function between the impulse responses at the two ears. The test tape that was used was a 2-track recording of the fourth movement of Mozart's Jupiter Symphony, made by the English Chamber Orchestra. The purpose of this was to find subjective evaluations based on room responses, digitally or otherwise, modified to control selected objective parameters. This will hopefully further enhance the usefulness of our method in architectural acoustics. Preference. This is the image on the left. Preference space. The result of a factor analysis of individual preference judgments, dimensions D1 and 2. These account for 45% and 16% respectively of the total variance. Capital letters signify 22 different halls included in the test. Numbered vectors represent 12 different listeners. Projections of hall positions on listeners' vectors approximate different listeners' individual preference scales. The projection of a hall on the Abysskisse D1 represents consensus preference for that hall. Projection on the ordinate D2 reflects individual preference disparities. On the right you have figure 8, the setups for the subjective comparisons of the concert halls. This image here shows impulse responses between loudspeaker terminals and dummy head microphones. The dummy was placed at 36 degrees to one side and a distance of 2.5 meters in a deadened chamber. Here we have the magnitude and frequency. Amplitude ratio and phase difference between the two loudspeakers used in the experiment. The phase difference is plotted on a linear frequency scale. This shows the positions that the dummy head was in the concert hall. Thank you. That was my presentation.